Well, hello, and I'm very sorry that I can't be with you there today in person, but delighted I can join you digitally like this for your meeting of the About Dereham group tonight. I met with Mike the other day and subsequently have also had a meeting with Stuart Green, the new mayor of Dereham, and spoken to the local Breckland and county councillors about whether we might take COVID as a moment to catalyse a stronger piece of work around the vision for the town, longer term planning and the coordination as part of the overall Build Back Better post-COVID recovery that every part of the country is going to have to deal with. Can I just start by saying that I hugely welcome, applaud, congratulate and support the work that you're doing in any town plan process, in any community plan process. It is vital that it's led by, or at least captures the ambitions of the community. That's the whole point. And one of my problems with the planning system in recent decades is that I've watched it become something that seems to be being done to communities, to towns, to villages, rather than by, for, or on behalf of. And I think it is vital that we make sure that in this next round of planning, there's a stronger voice for the community. And by community, that's obviously the residents of Dereham, but I think importantly also it's the businesses that make the town, that drive the revenues for the town, that bring the footfall in and that rely on the footfall. It's also the surrounding villages that view Dereham as its main service centre, and that's both the immediate villages that are affected directly by any highways or planning decisions, and also the wider group of villages that view Dereham as their town. But crucially, I think we've got to think about the next generation and ask ourselves that fundamental question. I think, how are we going to leave Dereham in a better state than the Dereham that we found? And if every generation took that view, we'd make the world a better place one generation at a time. And for me, there are some observations, just as the Mid-Norfolk MP. I've always been careful not to try and interfere with town and council, parish government or local councillors. I'm not a local councillor. My job is in Parliament, but I do think my job is also to help champion and support and convene those big conversations that have to be had locally, and I, in particular, about planning. If we get it right, this gorgeous part of Norfolk, Mid-Norfolk, people are still asking me where is Mid-Norfolk when they hear that I'm the Member of Parliament. This area that too many people on the west drive past on their way to the Gold Coast of North Norfolk, or on the east drive past it on the A11 on their way to Norwich, sitting between Cambridge and Norwich, two phenomenal centres of very, very sustainable high-tech growth. We have incredibly exciting opportunities over the next few years and decades. I think our area could become a really prosperous, vibrant home for people working in this exciting part of the country, in decentralised model of growth, working from home more often, not slaves to the commute, using better connectivity, digital, yes, but also road and rail links, and even Norwich Airport when necessary. We could really turn this part of the world from a very rural backwater with quite a lot of hidden poverty, deprivation, loneliness, mental health issues, difficult access to services, difficult for youngsters leaving school and college to find the opportunities that there are actually on their doorstep, and help make us a place where, the village, the pub, the post office, the market towns are vibrant, thriving villages and thriving towns. But we also have opportunity, and we're connected to those opportunities that are being created. And if we get that right, then I think Dereham has a huge opportunity as a gateway, if you like, to the Norwich research triangle. If you think about that area between Dereham, the Norwich Research Park and Wymondham, I call that the Norfolk Research Triangle. Dereham on the fast rail link to Cambridge, Wymondham on the fast rail link. There is actually a railway line, as you well know, up to Dereham, and one of the things I think any town plan should look at is whether we couldn't make more of that rail link, possibly even run a morning and evening commuter service. I knock on doors in Dereham and find more and more people who are actually driving to Cambridge or to the Cambridge cluster daily. And that's a 4 or 5 hour waste of their time and all the congestion and pollution that goes with it. So I think we should think quite big and quite long term about what Dereham's future is. The town deserves that. It's been going for hundreds of years because it constantly reinvents itself. And I think that's the challenge for a project like this, is to think about that longer term growth. So what I've suggested to the various local leaders and want to suggest to you is that we create a Dereham town vision partnership, which has as part of it the local businesses, both individually and collectively, the community, the About Dereham group and other charities or residents associations, community groups, sports groups, arts groups that need to be involved and have a voice. The town council, yes, and the town councillors, the local district and county councillors, and I would suggest the parishes around the immediate vicinity of the town. And I'm very happy to help convene it, chair it, pull it together, champion it. I don't want to interfere, but I do want to help make sure that we get this right. And finally, I just say this, what does success look like? Well, if you look at what town regeneration, town plans around the rest of the country have done, typically it leads to short, medium and long-term projects and progress. So by creating a little partnership, we're able to pull the resources from the various pots of money. We get a better leverage in accessing money that the government's announcing. There's a wall of money for post-COVID regeneration and high streets and towns and buses, and but I think the government typically makes it very difficult for places and people in real places to access that money. So if we had some form of a partnership, a Dereham long-term Dereham partnership, then I think we'd be better placed to access it, but also better placed in the planning process to speak up with one voice, with a vision for this fantastic historic town at the heart of Norfolk. So I'm fully behind you. I don't want to interfere, but I do want to support. And please come back to me through Mike or however, if you'd like to go to the next stage, which I would suggest is that we start to convene a post-COVID Dereham recovery plan, regeneration plan that has short, medium and long term built into it, and a partnership to develop that going forward. And I think we will find that the councils are hugely supportive, the government's supportive, and we're able to make a real difference, which is, after all of us want, to make a difference so that our children and grandchildren can look at Dereham as part of a prosperity corridor triangle, but also a really attractive market town with a really good planning system that's protected the green belt around it, that's made it easy for people to drive into the town, park, yes, do the weekly shopping at a supermarket, but then walk or cycle into a historic town centre with some pedestrianised space, some hanging baskets, some cafe culture, some really high quality shops, and to try and make sure that we balance the car access with the pedestrian enjoyment of a historic town centre with decent waymarking routes, which I know you're working on, so that we encourage people to come to Dereham and explore the treasures in it and around it, like Gresson Hall and the other tourist attractions. So right behind you, very keen to help and support, and I'd suggest that we perhaps meet up shortly with a view to having a first meeting of some sort of partnership early in the new year. I send you all the very best and thank you for all the work that you're doing. It's crucial that we take this opportunity.